Support for the Klyph Notes podcast comes from Acapella Apparel, an idea born from a love of hip hop, funk, and soul music and its surrounding cultures. With fashion being a huge visual part of the cultures, they've created expressive images to pay homage, invoke nostalgia, and showcase the elements that make up the lifestyle and cultures of these genres. Acapella, apparel for the music lifestyle. For more information, check out acapella.com. That's AKEPELE.com. So this is another dope one, man. Like, I just been on a roll. It's been so dope to have this lineup of artists to be on the podcast and really psyched to do this one. Had a chance to chop it up with this cat on the Welcome to the Neighborhood radio show a little while ago, and it's just been dope to continue to support what he's doing. So to have an opportunity to chop it up with him on the podcast is really, really cool. But without any further ado, my man, let him know who you are.
Yes. What's up, world? This is your man, Precise, from the south side of Chicago. Klyph, it's a pleasure to be on your show, brother. Man, having a great time already, man. I'm just glad to be tuned in.
That's what's up, B. That's what's up. How you been, though, man? You know, I follow you on social media, so I see how busy you are.
Man, I've been good. Just trying to stay busy as the years progress, and then just trying to take everything to the next level. That's really what we're working on right now.
No doubt. You know, it's crazy, man. So I think I was first introduced to you. The first joint that I heard was the Boom Bap project that you did with DJ Tech One. That
yes, sir.
Was sort of my introduction to you, and then after that, got a little deeper into the catalog. And I think the joint that really, really spoke to me was the joint that you did. It's On Me.
Yes, sir.
Bruh, like, you know, I'm an old head. People know that, B. I'm an old head. So, so cats who are lyrical, you know what I'm saying? Cats who have content, I definitely really gravitate to, B. That really feels like that's your foundation. Like, I mean, you're really about using the platform for positivity.
It really is, because, I mean, I speak to the power of words, so I understand that all the words that we speak have powers, and I understand as an MC, I have a responsibility to speak words of power into the world, into my friends, into my family, and into myself, because that's what actually moves things. That specific song, It's On Me, what's interesting about that song is that I wrote that at a real tough time. You know, I was getting separated from my ex-wife, you know, getting divorced and everything. And, you know, you just get to that point where it just feels like everybody around you is doing something that affects you. But then ultimately it's like, well, the only constant in that whole equation is me. So if there's any change that has to happen, it's got to be up to me to make that change. So when I look at that, when I think about that song and, you know, the time I took to write that out, man, that's where I was with it.
That's what's up, B. I mean, and, you know, big ups to you for taking a challenging situation like that, and one, doing something that can be therapeutic, which is added to your art, but then two, being open and sharing your personal life with the world, because you never know what sort of impact that might have on somebody else who's going through something similar.
Yes, sir. I totally agree with that. You know, a lot of us kind of posture, a lot of artists posture in turn, you know, in ways where they kind of represent a superhero, quote unquote, or these superhuman beings. But I think what actually needs to happen more is that people can be more, what's the word I'm looking for? Just be more open and vulnerable, so that, you know, real people can tune in and really be tuned into what we're doing and how we're living as human beings.
That's what's up, B. You know, it's funny. I am a huge fan of hip hop, and when I find artists that I dig and just really enjoy what they do, I really have a tendency to fanboy out. And it's funny because I feel like I'm old enough now, I'm secure enough now in understanding who I am that I'm okay with that, with fanboying out on
Mhm.
cats. You know what I'm saying? But I totally agree, man. You know, I think that oftentimes artists are, I mean, we place artists on pedestals. And when I say pedestals, I mean physically pedestals, right? Because when you're performing, you're on the stage, so you're 6 feet higher than your audience.
Right.
But at the end of the day, man, I think when you have an opportunity to let your artists or your fans touch you, whether that be through physical touch in terms of giving a cat a pound or shaking a hand or whatever, I think that goes a long way in creating real community. So I appreciate applaud you for just doing that, man.
No problem. That's why a project like 444 resonated so much from Jay,
Hmm.
because he was able to open the door. And the Jay that was talking to you this time wasn't the Jay talking about making millions of dollars.
Right.
It was the Jay talking about, damn, I cheated on my wife, that was stupid.
Right. Right. Exactly.
And
Exactly.
that's real.
So, I mean, I really sort of jumped ahead, man, but I wanna give you an opportunity to let folk know sort of your background, your history, your how you got into being an MC.
Man, well, just generally, I've been rhyming for about 20 years now. I started off originally as a DJ. I used to call myself Steel
Hmm.
from Juice. I don't know if you remember Juice.
Hmm. Hmm.
The DJ was named Steel, so I snatched that name up. Um, but then, I started listening to hip hop. I'm from Chicago, so we're really like a house music city.
Hmm.
But I used to travel back and forth to New York City because I have family there. So the hip hop bug just caught my ear.
Gotcha.
And so when I came back, I decided, hey, I could, when I would come back from those trips, I would try to write rhymes. And after I wrote a rhyme, did it for a talent show and saw the response that I got, I just went forward with it. And then 20 years later, people are still listening to my verses.
That's what's up, B. That's what's up. As you, I mean, I think anybody who is an artist, anybody who's rhymed, I think just a part of our culture. That's sort of something that can be a part of just what you do, whether it's just in the comments at the on lunch break in high school or whatever, when you just with your friends you get in a cipher. But have you always sort of been focused on lyricism as a writer?
When I think back to being in elementary school and stuff like that, I always gravitated towards writing and creative writing anyway.
Hmm.
So I do think that was part of just part of who I am.
Hmm.
And then I like when you mention how at any point in time within the culture we're able to take part in these different type of activities, because I think the reminder needs to be out there that hip hop is the culture,
Right.
and all this other stuff that we do is part of the culture, and that's how we express ourselves.
No doubt, no doubt, man. And one of the things that's often talked about, I think, in mainstream media is how hip hop is such a huge part of mainstream media. And again, man, as an old head, I can remember when I used to just, man, I really want hip hop to be accepted, and people were saying, oh, it's just a fad, it's not going to last, woo woo woo. And here we are now. Hip hop is middle aged, man. Hip hop is in its 40s, but it's changed so much. And one element of hip hop is really, I guess, really two elements are really celebrated, and that's the dance and then the rhyming. But it's been so absorbed by pop culture that I think some of the actual culture of hip hop is lost. So as an artist, does that make you feel any kind of way? That's having any effect on you to see where hip hop is now?
So we all, what happens a lot of times is that the word hip hop and rap become interchangeable.
Come on.
And the moment that we allowed someone else to define what the culture is when it got away from us.
Right. Right.
So let's be honest, hip hop is the culture. So hip hop is American culture.
Hmm.
Just bottom line. Rap is what we do. Right now, rap is the biggest genre in music.
Hmm.
These are the things that we have to take notice of. And I think what has to happen is that we have to take the reins back, really define who we are, and show the world what this culture can really do, because we are, hip hop is in its 40s, it's middle age, but when it comes to any other culture, we're still in our infancy. So we're still going through these growing pains and trying to find ourselves and even having, for lack of a better word, that midlife crisis. So maybe right now, what's going on, you know, now that I think about it, now that you bring that up, the midlife crisis is happening now. That's why you see all this other stuff going on. You know what I'm saying within the music, where there's a section where they don't even say words. There's an area where where rhythm and melodies are all that matter, and all of those things do matter. But we have to be able to snatch it back and kind of point it back in the direction of what it was meant for originally.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. And again, I think one of the things as culturally, the spoken word is such a huge part of Black culture. The way that so much has been handed down, whether it be family trees, stories, just our history. And I think when as you mentioned that when we only focus on the rhythms and we don't spend enough time on the spoken word, I think we are truly doing a disservice to our history.
Oh yeah, definitely, and especially when we choose words that don't add value to what we're looking to accomplish as a people in the first place.
Word.
I mean, I always look at it like this. So we all go through our stages in our 20s. We're thinking a specific way. In our 30s, where our minds are shifted in a specific way. In our 40s, we're thinking this, a certain type of way.
Hmm.
So a lot of this music that we're getting is from 20-year-olds and younger. So they haven't even experienced life, and no one has even told them, what their influence really means to the culture.
Right.
So when we miss that tutelage as youngsters, then we tend to continue to speak garbage into the atmosphere, and we don't even understand what that means. One of the top songs on the radio right now is a song called "Booty."
Right.
I mean, come
Right.
on, man. I'm not dissing the brother. The track is dope, but come on, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, when you're given a platform, I think you have to show a certain amount of responsibilities, and I just, I feel like um, using whatever platform you have responsibly. And now feeling like I'm an elder statesman, I guess I feel like I could preach a little bit, because that's what youth need. When I was younger, I needed my elders to speak knowledge into me, whether it had to do with entertainment, my education, how to be a family man, whatever the case may be. And I think oftentimes, I know that I tune that out to a certain degree, but I think that if we as elders don't continue to try to educate the youth, man, we gonna lose it. They're gonna, it's gonna be gone.
You know what happened? I'm not sure how old you are. I'm 46 now. So
I got
when
one
I was
year on you,
coming,
brother. I'm 47.
okay. So when I was coming up, when I got tuned into hip hop, like the people who were hot were like KRS and PE. And what's interesting about those guys is that they were relatively young, right?
Hmm.
So and we learned a lot. I don't know if you did, but I learned a lot from PE and KRS
Yeah.
and Tribe
Yes.
and Guru and
Yup.
Gangstar. I mean, even when I think about Gangstar, like how that their visual introduced me to the Nation of Islam and
Right.
who the minister was and
Right.
what what Chuck D was saying about the minister
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
how KRS would break down a
Right.
Bible book
Right.
name by name.
Right.
See what happened was, we were young then, so I was able to internalize that. And I think as we got older, we expected our kids to be able to do the same, and that's not what happened. We
True.
let it go. So now it's important for us to kind of double back and pour that goodness back into them.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. Chopping up my man Precise from Chicago. One of the things that I often talk about is the balance was there, I think, or the balance was there, I think, a little bit better back in the day, because you did have party music, but you had conscious music, and then you had what cats would call them boom bap, or I'm sorry, backpack for a little while. So there was that balance. And a lot of conversation I have now is that it still exists. I think you have to look for it a little bit more, because the mainstream, it's not necessarily what the mainstream pushes in terms of conscious hip hop, in terms of knowing our history. And that's why I feel blessed to have these platforms, to have an artist like yourself who who promotes positivity, who promotes education, who promotes history, to give you this platform to share what you do.
And I appreciate that. And definitely at the same time, when I tell people how I kind of started listening to it, one of the first hip hop songs, we talk about that balance.
Yes.
One of the first rap songs that I heard that I really got into was Freaky Tales by Too Short.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the same time, after I got tuned into that, then I got tuned into Tribe and KRS and everything else. But and as it was happening, I didn't even realize what was happening, how the culture was being shifted, around how we were growing and what we were feeding into it.
Right.
So what I think is being lost is that our youth don't recognize how they're feeding into the culture.
Yeah.
Because there's so much consumption. Do you know what I mean? There's so much consumption that they don't understand that, look, what you're doing is informing your world, informing your environment. So let's be very deliberate about the words that we choose and the message that we want to send out here.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Chopping up with Precise. So, we've talked about a lot of artists that we've both been influenced by. We've touched a little bit on what you've done, man. But I want to let if folk haven't had an opportunity to tune in to my radio show or just learning of you right now, where if people want to get a sense of who you are, where's a good place to start? People say, yo, I heard this cat Precise. I really dig what he had to talk about, and I want to listen to his music. Where would you say people would be a good place to start?
Well, first I would send them to my Bandcamp. That's precise.bandcamp.com. Then I would send them to my YouTube page to check out some of my YouTube. So that's what is my YouTube page? I think it's Precise Videos.
Okay.
And also my Instagram @precise_CHI and my Twitter @precise_CHI.
That's what's up. All right, so once again, man, I've been grateful to have an opportunity to get to know you musically, and as I follow you on social media and see some of the other things that you're involved with, I jumped on Twitter and I was checking out your Twitter, and I saw this link to Rolling Out, so I had to click on Rolling Out, and I was like, "Yo, Precise is writing as well, man. What's up with that?"
Yes, sir. I have my own blog, which is Precise Music, PRECISEMUZIC.com.
Okay.
And I've been just writing, like I said earlier when I was younger, writing was always the thing I gravitated towards anyway.
Okay.
So I remember going to perform at a rally for President Obama's library, maybe like 2 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And one of my peers approached me, brother by the name of TJ. He approached me, TJ Crawford, and he approached me to ask me if I would like to write for this magazine, Rolling Out. And it was interesting because as an artist coming up, that was a publication that I was trying to get into so many times, and then just out of nowhere, this brother approached me to write for the publication. And since I've been writing for it, it's allowed me to share a good voice, control the narrative of our story to the world, and create a good platform for other artists and other people who are looking to be heard.
That's what's up, man. So the your writing can be found at Rolling Out, and then you're still doing the blog as well as a separate piece?
I'm still doing the blog. So it's rollingout.com, and then it's Precise Music with a Z, MUZIC.com.
Okay, that's what's up. And then did I see something like somewhere in one of your bios, something about acting as well?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I've done some acting too. So a few years ago, I was part of a collective called the CGX, the Creative Group Experience.
Okay.
And what we did was a lot of sketch comedy and at a comedy club we had a residency at a comedy club called Jokes and Notes.
Okay.
So to kind of put some perspective around that, everybody from Bernie Mac to Lil Rel have performed on that stage, and we were able to have a residency there for about a year.
Wow.
A few months after that, I was fortunate enough to be in the second season of Empire.
Oh, wow.
As a federal marshal. What was interesting about that, because it wasn't a speaking role, was that the picture that was taken in the scene that I was in with Terrence Howard was the picture that they used to promote the season, that the first episode of the season. So it ended up in every publication from USA Today, New York Times, Washington Post. It was just, yeah, it was bugged out.
Wow, B.
Yeah,
I had
yeah,
no idea, man. Look at you.
yeah, yeah, it was bugged out.
Yo, all right. So actor, writer, musician, motivational speaker, man. I mean, you definitely got it all covered. And like I said, it's so deep. It's so dope to see you using your platform for such a positive message, man. So right now we're recording this in the month of February, and it's Black History Month, and there are a lot of things that are going on to celebrate Black history. From a music standpoint, it's also Dilla Month. So being from Chicago, close enough to Detroit, man. What you doing? Anything special to celebrate the life and times of James Yancey?
Brother, I tell a story all the time. I was I told a story the other day where it was maybe, I can't remember when Welcome to Detroit came out,
Uh huh.
which honestly is, in my opinion, is Dilla's greatest work.
Okay.
But I think it was track 11. But anyway, I was studying for my Series 3, which is a commodities broker's license.
Okay.
And that was the album that I listened to as I was studying. The way that I study, I need music in the background.
Okay.
And so there was one specific track where he said, "Look at me, look at you." I can't remember the name of the track right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I listened to that track so much that by the time I got to the testing center and I was taking this a 6-hour test,
Yeah.
that song was just in my mind for that full time. And I got my Series 3 that day.
That's what's
So
up.
when people talk about, and that did change my life. So when people talk about how Dilla changed their life, like literally, that changed my life. I think I was watching an interview with, an archive interview of Dilla the other day, and he said something that really struck a chord, and it made me realize the type of producer that he was. He mentioned that he was about emotion.
Yeah.
And when you listen to his music, even when you listen to Welcome to Detroit or even Donuts,
Mm-hmm.
you can hear the emotion that he had that comes out of the music.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes him the best producer ever. I think he was able to pull that out of the sounds that he used and out of the people that he worked with. So when it comes to doing anything special for Dilla, man, I'm honoring the brother. I'm listening to his music every day, and I'm sharing positive stories about him, man. He was a great brother.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Chopping it with my man Precise from Chicago. I have a couple of connections to Chicago. I've never been to Chicago specific, but there's a young cat from Portland who's celebrated as a pretty dope MC. Went to Chicago to continue his education, and he's back and forth between Portland and Chicago right now. He goes by the name of Vinny Dwayne. So keep your ears out for him, and I know he's trying to make some moves out there in Chicago.
Of course.
And then also, I got a homie in Wisconsin who goes by the name of Mario Street, and he's from Chicago. But,
Okay.
He's in Wisconsin right now, and he has a movement, a label called Impact Records, and a cat who's doing sort of on that same wavelength in terms of creating positivity, supporting the youth, creating opportunities for people to just do better. So, I guess it's kind of 6 degrees of separation. I kind of have
Yes,
that.
sir. Yes, sir.
Kind of have that connect. You know what I mean? In terms of music, man. What are you working on right now, man? What can we get ready for from Precise right now on the music tip?
Well, the project that I'm working on now is called Man of the Ages.
Mm-hmm.
I have a song out there called Speak Life. And, we touched on that a little bit where we talked about speaking life and speaking greatness into the lives of each other and the lives of our friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
And I just released a song called A Killer Joe.
Mm-hmm.
And really what that is, it's a story of a young man and a young woman who have had some experience that have driven them to the point where they will be willing to take a life. So that's, and the lingo in Chicago, everybody's Joe. So they're like, "What's up, Joe?" What's going on, Joe? So this joint is kind of, the production is from Mulatto Patriot.
Okay.
And it takes, it's a jazz standard that's called Killer Joe. I don't know if you've ever heard it. It's a jazz standard called Killer Joe, and I just did a little flip on that and told a story behind it.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Mhm.
So that's something that you're working on. Do you have a target for making it available to the masses?
Well, I'm thinking about third quarter,
Okay.
at least before I'm able to submit it for Grammy consideration, because that's what I'm looking to do this
Word.
year,
Word.
is to lock that down and be recognized, for what I'm doing.
That's what's up, B. No
Mhm.
doubt, man. I think oftentimes when people think of Chicago, they think of, again, an old head like me, I'm going to first think about Common.
Of course.
Looking at Kanye, looking at Chance the Rapper. So much great music that we see mainstream. But I feel like there was something I saw related to Chicago music, and there were some artists talking about not getting support from the local scene, and that's one of the things that we talk about here in Portland, Oregon. Trying to create opportunities for young artists, but then also encouraging young artists to see the opportunities that are presented to them and encouraging them to take advantage of those. So it's interesting to me that narrative is universal, not just in one city. Do you have opportunities, or have you I guess, yeah, have you had an opportunity to try to educate folk to take advantage of opportunities that might be there that they just don't see, they don't realize?
Fortunately enough, I've been involved in this long enough that people recognize what I do, and if there's certain situations where they need me to speak to some youth or to some other artists, I can be called upon. You know what it is, and everybody thinks they have the formula, right?
Right.
And everybody, every segment and rap used to be so regional where everybody had their turn. I feel like Chicago has something special in that we're able to merge different styles from all over the United States and the world into one pot. But at the same time, you look at a city like Atlanta, and whenever you hear these Atlanta artists talk, they talk about being in the same studio at the same time, and you never know who's in the studio, and there's almost like there's no ego that exists in what's happening with what they're doing down there.
Right.
That's why you can have a consistent run like they've been having for the past 6 years, because there is a level of unity and support that's there that may not exist in other cities. But what I think has happened now is with the advent of technology and where we're moving in terms of technology, that support system doesn't necessarily have to come from your home base anymore, because you can get that from anywhere around the world.
That's true, man. It's crazy. There's an artist here in Portland who goes by the name of Destro, and he did a project, a full project that was produced by a cat from Spain, and a dude from Spain would send him beats, and Destro would write to them, and ended up doing a full project. The crazy thing is, before the project was complete, while Destro was still writing to these beats, he said he sent them like just a whole folder of beats. The young man passed away from cancer. So it's crazy to think that you can do a full project like that with somebody that you only meet over over the internet. So I think
there's a song. I'm sorry. There's a song called "The Steppers" on the album that I did called "Ladies Love Mixtapes."
Yeah,
and it was from. It's so ill because the track sounds like a stepper song. I don't know if you know what stepping is, but it's a dance style from Chicago, kind of like, I call it like ghetto ballroom dancing. So.
Okay.
It's called stepping. So look, Google it up.
Okay.
But the song itself sounds like a stepper song, like we stepping out in our gear. But the guy who produced it, his name is Cranks, and he's from Poland.
Wow. Wow.
So, yeah, the vibe, man. The vibe is universal, man. Definitely.
No doubt. No doubt. You bring up a thought, man. When it comes to creating art for yourself, what's your process of connecting with producers? Are there people who are just sort of in your circle that you just build with, or do you look for other producers to work with, to collab with?
I am open to work with a lot of producers, but the main producer that's been that we've really been working a lot. I've been working a lot with is Ty Hill. He's probably one of the most prolific producers out of Chicago. He works with a few different artists. He helped me produce the Ladies Love Mixtapes album. Y'all can go check that out on iTunes and all the streaming services. He actually produced It's On Me.
Okay.
Um, so I work with him a lot, and I work with other producers here and there, just like even with the that old boom bap track.
Hmm.
That was a situation where my manager Riddell connected with Tech One, and Tech One shot me over the track, and I heard it, and I saw what he was working on, and it just that's what I decided to write to that,
Got you.
and actually speak a message I felt that was necessary at the time because these young cats be trying to come at us, man, like we don't know what we're talking about. First of all, like they like we don't know how to put raps together and stuff like that, or
Yeah.
like we don't know how to have fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
at the same time, and a lot of this stuff I
Hmm.
like a lot of this stuff, but that doesn't mean that you have to disrespect the origins of it. So that's
Right.
for that specific song, that's how I came from that. But just working with different producers, whoever has the heat, B Carter, he's the one who he's actually from Detroit himself. B
Mhm.
Carter, he's the one who produced Speak Life. And just like I said, I work with whoever's got the hot stuff, man.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. You mentioned his name, and I definitely got to give a shout out to Riddell, man. I've had an opportunity to connect and build with him through the process of building with you, so definitely got to give him a big shout out for real, for real.
Yes, sir. So I
Uh,
got a quick question for you.
yeah, yeah.
So I finally, I binge watch The Office and Parks and Rec. And so finally, I watch those all the time. So I'm done.
Hmm.
So the other day, I get a suggestion, and it suggests me to watch Portlandia. So is Portland anything like the way they portrayed on that show?
I'm gonna put it to you like this, Cat. There definitely are areas of Portland that when you see, especially the first season, man. The first
Mm,
season, there are definitely areas of Portland that you feel like you're on the television show, and you know how entertainment is. Everything is sort of turned up
yeah,
a couple notches, but
of course.
nah, man, it's it
It's so hilarious, but that's the kind of stuff I like, just totally over the top. It's just so hilarious. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. Nah, it's and it's funny, man. Portland is so I'm not Portland native, but I've been here for 20 plus years.
Okay.
So, moving to Portland from the South, you definitely get a sense that it's a place that's a bit different.
Hmm.
And yeah, yeah. My cousin came up here. She had never been up here before, and she was singing the theme song to Portlandia. She wanted to go see the adult swings, and I was like, so we trying to do a tour looking for this stuff. I'm like, come
That's so
on,
funny.
man.
But you see, that just goes to show you, man, like the influence that media can have
Yes,
on
sir.
the things that we think, man, and what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no mystery behind that.
Mm-mm. No, not at all, B. But you know what, B? So now that you are checking it out, we got to get you to come up here and so you can see it for yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I would definitely come there for sure. Of course.
Connecting with some other folk in Chicago. Shout out to my friend Natalie, and the whole YBG community trying to build a Portland Chicago connect anyway, man. So
Yes,
it would be
sir.
definitely be dope to have you come up here and then give you the tour of the real Portland. You know what I'm saying?
Word, word. I'm down for that all day.
No doubt, no doubt. Chopping up with my man Precise. So once again, bro, it's just so cool to have the opportunity to celebrate an individual like yourself who has a platform and uses the platform for so much positivity. Because I mean, we know what it is, man. I think for all of us, when we have a profession, something that we're passionate about, and we get an avenue to work into that passion, I think it's really easy to get caught up in, what do I need to do to be successful in this, or what do I need to do to be heard or to be recognized in this. And I think sometimes people can lose themselves in that. So again, I appreciate you for being consistent with what you're doing, and again using your platform for such positivity, man.
Man, brother, thank you for allowing me to even come on your platform because what you're doing is really even beyond what we're doing, what you're doing as a journalist and an archiver means so much to our culture that I really do tip my hat to you, man. I honor you for that.
That's what's up, man. Definitely appreciate it. Real quick, man, I want to give you an opportunity to throw out your social media real quick.
Okay.
Let people know where to follow you on social media.
So yeah, anybody who's listening here, you can catch me at precise PRECISE underscore CHI. That's the Twitter. That's the Instagram at precise underscore CHI. And you can catch me on the Facebook at precise. And where else they need to know? I don't know, man. My Bandcamp, precise.bandcamp.com. And you can hear the music on all the streaming services, iTunes, Tidal, Spotify, all that.
That's what's up. One of the cool things about following you on social media is you really get a combination of education and entertainment. One of the things I love to see is, and maybe a part of it is being in Chicago, so you get an opportunity to experience things on a grander stage. But man, you was posting videos from like the Roots and from I'm trying to think who else. I think Erica Badu. Like, man, I'm just sitting back watching your timeline like, yo, that's what's up.
Yeah, I mean, fortunately with the rolling out thing,
Yeah.
that's given me access to a whole lot of different things. So, yeah, those are some good experiences, and I met some good people during those shows.
That's what's up, B. That's what's up. My man Precise. So via the podcast, obviously, and definitely via Welcome to the Neighborhood, the radio show, man. You definitely have a platform for what I'm doing to help to continue to promote and spread the word for what you're doing. And man, I just want to say I appreciate the connect, man. I was talking to somebody last night, and maybe because of the fact that, you know, we're celebrating Dilla this month, we're celebrating Bob Marley, and then just being at an age where I realize how life is short, not necessarily from the standpoint of a lot of the hardships that we experience as human beings, especially
Right.
people of color. But man, people get old, man, and they pass on, and I really believe in the idea of give me my flowers when I'm alive to smell them.
Yeah.
So I just want to, as much as I can, man, celebrate and say thank you to people that I appreciate while I can. So thank you, brother. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm truly humbled by that. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So y'all check out more from my man Precise. Looking forward to seeing more come from him in the third quarter. Let's continue to support and promote good people who were doing really, really good things. Once again, man, you can check out the Klyph Notes podcast everywhere that you listen to your podcast. It's available at the website djklyph.com, on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, Tune, everywhere. Wherever you listen to podcasts, you can check it out. So definitely check it out, comment, rate, subscribe, share it, and let's just continue to grow this movement. Once again, also big ups to my man Theory Has It, who I need to try to connect you with Precise, because Theory's kind of nice on them beats, man.
Hey, if he got him, send them. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up. Also, big ups to my folk Acapella Apparel, for their continued support of the Klyph Notes podcast. Check them out, akepele.com, and of course my home X-Ray FM. Check them out, www.xray.fm, and tune in every Saturday night, 8 to 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, for the Welcome to the Neighborhood radio show, where you get to hear music from cats like Precise and nothing but that good hip-hop, funk, soul music. Once again, brother, I truly appreciate you, man.
Word up, DJ Klyph. Thank you so much, brother.
Yes, sir.